Today we're going to be taking a look at performance between the Ryzen 5 1600X up against the i5 6600K, its closest competitor in terms of price from Intel. Both of these CPUs you can get for around $250 from AMD and Intel respectively, and we are going to be testing here specifically in this video on 720p at low settings. That's right. For some of you that may be wondering why on earth would you be testing at 720p on low settings, nobody plays at that with these types of processors, and I would certainly agree with you, but that is not really the point of this video. For that, I did a full comparison between these two processors on the RX 480 running at 1080p on high settings. If you want to check that video out, I'll be sure to annotate it at the end of this video and link it down below in the description. The purpose of this, though, is to eliminate a GPU bottleneck, just like I did back on my Ryzen 7 testing. After my initial review, I put up a video with 720p low comparison side by side so people can kind of draw their own conclusions from the data that they're seeing on the screen with the benchmarks that are playing. So that's what we're going to be doing here now. I'm just going to be letting these benchmarks run for you guys in the background so you can kind of draw your own conclusions from this data. And I thought that it did give us some really interesting information to compare against when we are seeing a GPU bottleneck like I was seeing with the RX 480 on 1080p and high settings, because the GPU there was pretty much always maxing out at 99-100% usage. Whereas you can see here on 720p at low, that is not the case. You'll see the GPU usually pretty low utilization. Sometimes the core clock of the GTX 1080 Ti that I was using here at stock settings didn't even go into GPU boost mode. It was running down at its original base clock. Then, like you can see in this benchmark right here, it's at 1,481 megahertz. And I didn't do any additional tweaking to the GPU, overclocking, anything like that. And both of our CPUs here, the 1600X and the 6600K, were both running at the same exact clock speeds of 3.7 gigahertz. So for the 1600X, that is its stock out-of-the-box speed. For the 6600K, I had to throw on an additional 100 megahertz to bring it up to the same exact speed of the 1600X, which I think gives us a very, very fair comparison of how these will line up to each other clock for clock. And as far as the RAM we're using here, both kits are dual channel DDR4 16GB kits at 3200 megahertz. In my AMD Ryzen 5 build with the MSI B350 Tomahawk, we've got the Guile RAM, which I showed you guys in my build video. And for the 6600K, along with the EVGA Stinger motherboard, I am using G.Skill Trident Z RAM, also at 3200 megahertz. So our RAM speeds are exactly the same, our CPU speeds are exactly the same, and everything was run at 720p on low with latest drivers from AMD and NVIDIA. So really just a straight up apples to apples showdown between these two processors at 720p on low, and doing our best to eliminate a GPU bottleneck, which I believe we did since we used the GTX 1080 Ti 720p low. I mean, it's not really pushing the GPU very hard at all. More often than not, we're seeing a limitation of either the CPU or from the engine itself in the game. So there you guys have it. I'm going to let these benchmarks continue to run, and I'm going to get out of here and work on pushing out more Ryzen 5 content for you. If you've got any questions that maybe I didn't address in this video or in the previous video, or further testing you would like to see, I'll be down in the comments for discussion and also taking requests from you guys. So I'll catch you next time. Sarah.
You over there. I need you by the stage now. Remember to lick your teeth. We don't want any lipstick there, do we? It'll make you look like unkempt sluts.
job was luckily.